We're live.
I know. You see. Oh, you shut up.
Welcome to the Kick and Peanut. Yeah, I always change it with a different, like, stupid jingle. But today, it is a Kick and the Peanut show where we kick things around, chew the fat, talk about anything on our minds. And we do try to come up with a base of topics throughout the week that we'd like to dabble and dive into. But, you know, mainly we just like to debate each other, as someone would say, master debating.
Nice.
Right? Anyways, I am the lovely Who is Alice, and I am joined by so many people in here. Say your names in order, otherwise Xander will say your name for you.
I am here. I'm A.O. Xander, and I brought with me
Golden Loon. Yeah.
King's Refuge.
Yeah, no. So hidden.
and we also have Rhombusser, probably at the gym, knowing him.
Where I should be.
Yeah, where I should be
Here's
too.
your vibes.
Like,
Yep.
We got the
We also have, I
Rhombusser
think,
and
a
Sohan.
Nurgle.
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah,
And we have a king. We have a king, a Nurgle,
yeah.
a Romulan. Any, I always like to call him a Romulan, even though he's not. But, anywho's, welcome to the Kicking the Peanut show. We'll just go by briefly, going about our weeks. I am happy to report that I am now actually, it's been set in stone, that I am actually finally going back to the great state of Minnesota to see my family.
Woo!
And go camping in
Hold on a second.
the Boundary Waters.
I have a soundboard for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yay! Thank you.
Nothing better.
Yes. Yeah. Please, no autographs. But yeah, I'm gonna be going up north and hopefully doing some fishing. If anything, we'll do it on the dock. Or my dad and I were talking and discussing about maybe like just renting a canoe if his boat's not working. Been having some motor issues with it there. But so we're gonna try and do that, and then we're gonna take a tour in an iron mine that takes you half a mile underground.
Nice.
How long are you going to be up there?
It's pretty cool. I've taken it before, but I want to do it again. So, because it's really cool.
How long are you going to be up there?
I'm going to be flying out on the 9th of August, and I will be flying back to Pennsylvania on the 18th of August.
Cool.
You have a great time.
For 9
sure.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 days in northern Minnesota, and then 5 days in down in the Twin Cities area.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to hang out with my dad and my stepmom for a few days, and then I'll be hanging out with my mom and my siblings when I can see them for the rest of that. Probably do some puzzles with my mom and some of her friends at her little 50s plus living area. So they usually do 1,000-piece puzzles or 1,000+ puzzles, and so I sit with them and do them like a few hours a day. Probably go agate hunting and get some more rocks. Do some fishing, maybe see some friends.
That's
Nice.
nothing. I've built the 1 million piece Death Star.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
Anyways, well,
It was
that's
a
like
nightmare.
that's what's been going on for my week. But let's go on. Who else? What's been going on for everybody else?
Well, for me, if we're going in alphabetical order,
Please, you know.
Me and Nurgle, I've been doing a little bit of soul searching.
What
trying to
Nurgle's
kind of-
talking?
somebody.
Oh, go ahead.
I thought
don't
Nurgle
know.
was talking.
Well, Nurgle was just about to speak there, so I don't know
Yeah.
if there was a lag there.
Go.
Oh, he's muted now. Okay.
Ooh, we got dead air.
Nurgle, now go ahead, continue.
I was just saying, I've been doing a little bit of soul searching, that's all.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, no, as for me, if we're going in
just said you were
alphabetical
doing a little
order,
soul searching.
it has been a rather tame week, and I think lag is developing again. So, yeah, we're going to have to definitely do something about the internet.
Yeah.
We've already made plans to make calls tomorrow. But anyway, no, like, it's been a rather tame week in the light of things. Like, we've just been, kind of going full blast the past couple of months, and then just kind of, like, slowly tapered down, and now we're kind of leveling out, and like we're gonna have another meeting here after the show, after ASFX's meeting. So just meeting after meeting. It's been a rather busy weekend, and we're gonna be making leaps and bounds here. Like once I make you guys aware of the plans that Loon and I have been talking about and whatnot, we're gonna take the next step here pretty quickly. So. and by that I mean monetization and ways to make merch and whatnot. So, just an announcement of what's coming up in the future, not too distant future, actually. But yeah.
Yeah, what we talked about today, you and me.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're going in a good, positive direction. I'm excited for you. I hope it all goes well. Keep it moving.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and as far as me,
Hell yeah.
we're down to a skeleton type crew because of the economy, and then I have another guy on vacation. So it's been a busy week just spinning my wheels.
yeah.
But that's work. That's all work stuff.
Yep. Hey, well, who's next in alphabetical order? That'd be
Excuse
Rhombus
me,
if
so
he's
the
here.
wheels are grinding as you say, Pops.
What was that?
She said something about your wheels grinding.
Rom, is it? Yeah, so the wheels are grinding is what I'm saying. The brain's thinking,
And I'm afraid you're mistaking that for my
pull that
joints
lever,
grinding.
start the
Oh.
engine, pump the water, put the pressure.
Who's next in line?
No.
A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. So K, the K, R, F,
Rhombus is available, cool, but
Yeah, we're a mess.
yeah.
yeah, like, Rhombus, you there?
I don't think he's here. I think next in line, if he wants, is KR.
Would King like to join in here? No, he's there. Here he is.
Oh. Is he?
Yeah. How's your week been, buddy?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Going pretty good. Spending a lot of time with family and whatnot.
That's awesome. Spend time with family, it's always good. I haven't seen my family in over a year, so it's always good when you see them.
Oh yeah.
Staying out of trouble, I hope, over there, buddy, right?
It's dreaming and dreaming.
Living the dream, living the dream. I hear you, bud. But yeah, that's like a week. Sohan, how's your week
Hello.
been?
My week is good. I had to get some new internet.
Interwebs.
Yeah. Had to get a new ISP.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
AT&T.
Well, actually, yeah. Oh damn. Earlier this week, there was a fire that was right next to a cell tower that was like the cell tower for my provider, and it was on Thursday, and a transformer blew and it cut out my internet on the day that I was supposed to have like this conference call with our regional director manager on the phone. Well, no matter, I get to actually meet him sometime this upcoming week, so that'll be
Damn,
interesting.
Autobots always blowing up.
Alice, did you have something to do with this?
Go down.
Are you playing
Well,
with
anyways,
fire
we
again?
have some fun, interesting things to talk about. No, I'm not playing with fires.
No,
This was
man,
like I was
it's
at the
Megatron's
bus
fault.
station.
It's Megatron's fault.
Dude, I was-
Speeding up the Transformers.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, this is like 20 minutes, 10 minutes away from me. Like I was at a bus stop trying to get on a conference call. How could I be starting fires while trying to call?
I don't know,
And
Alice.
freaking
You're
out
you.
going,
You find a way.
I was having a bad day that one. I guess, yes. Maybe my telekinesis just of anger shot out somewhere and I didn't even know. But anyways, we have some interesting to talk about, things to talk and chat about. So we got Papa Dukes here, the Golden Loon, and actually, one of the things we wanted to talk about was the whole. We're gonna go with the USSR one first, and then go to the term limit thing. I think would be ideal. So NATO and the USSR and Ukraine.
Ooh.
Yep.
Let's go. Opinions, thoughts.
All right. Well, let's start with you because
Well,
we were having a little
Russia,
bit of a debate
Ukraine,
earlier this week
NATO.
during one of the shows,
Okay.
about
Fill me in.
well, about NATO versus Russia, how I was saying, and I'll do some research here, but I'm just opening it up. That NATO, the original, not what it ended up being, but the original reason why it ever existed, obviously edited later on, to make people more agreeable to it, was to be a direct counter to the USSR. And as soon as the USSR was over, there would be no more reason for NATO to be in existence. So then they were planning originally to dissolve it.
But
Yep.
that's what Russia and the Warsaw Pact, which is really crucial on the whole thing. The Warsaw Pact asked for is we'll dissolve you guys dissolve. That was never agreed on.
Yeah.
But that's what their ultimate goal was. But what was agreed on is if Warsaw Pact dissolves, then NATO will no longer expand whatsoever and stay exactly as it is, which we know has gone into Poland and now Norway and Switzerland and all up into there. So that didn't hold at all. We didn't hold. We talk about China and
Taiwan.
all communist countries. You can never trust them. They lie.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't do so good ourselves for that particular thing.
Yeah.
But but you can go back and what people will realize about Russia when you go back further is they actually formed before. I don't have my dates. I don't know.
The Soviet Union formed in 1919,
Okay.
I believe.
And they were forming as a democracy, and they had set it up very weak and very vulnerable. And then they were overtaken by the brown shirts or whatever.
I think the red shirts.
Red shirt. I don't know, whatever it was. So they lost it. They had that moment in time where they could have become they were setting up a democracy just like we were very vulnerable.
Not really, because the whole reason why all of this even happened.
Well, we're a republic technically.
Yeah, no. Vladimir Lenin took Marxist ideals and all that stuff and realized how sick everybody was of the war, during the First World War, and started a revolution during, the war while Russia was already preoccupied fighting, Germany and all that whatnot, and promised to people like food and all that stuff, and on top of the main focus was to get them out of the war. And after they overthrew the Tsar, he took over as a communist. I never heard of this democracy you're talking about.
It was formed, and it was in its infancy. And I think the Tsar was still there or not, but they're trying to use him as a king, and I don't know all the details.
Well, whatever the case.
But they steamrolled that, and like you say, all the promises came along, and it all sounds good on paper.
Okay, so it's something not Lenin was involved with. It's a
not at
thing.
all.
Okay.
He actually overtook that idea.
Okay.
This is the whole Communist Party came after the whole family was assassinated. The whole Anastasia thing.
Yeah, and then they took over.
Kind of came after the Tsar and his family was killed.
Yeah. And then they took over, and then they got Russia out of the war, and then the rest is history.
God.
So,
but going back to NATO, that was the original agreement to freeze NATO where it was. Of course, it's since expanded greatly.
Yeah, and now they're talking about putting Ukraine in there.
Now,
they're talking about it, but I don't know.
well, now also Ukraine actually they didn't. NATO denied that.
Yeah.
NATO had just denied them earlier this week. So,
well, they certainly
Ukraine's not part of NATO or the United Nations. He keeps trying to get in there, but nope.
They certainly wouldn't allow NATO to enter while they're at war, because they don't want to adopt a war.
Now, here's the thing. And I saw a meme, and I saw a meme the other day about how the leaders of the nations of proxy wars end up getting overthrown or assassinated, by their own people. Mm-hmm. Look at Gaddafi.
Yeah.
Look at not Bin Laden. The other guy. Help me. Iraq.
Oh yeah.
Hussein. Saddam Hussein. And then so now Zelensky is next in line.
Well, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and they were all brutal rulers.
Yeah.
And
he wasn't a very funny comedian.
Well, no, when it comes to this is another debate I wanted to bring up involving Muammar Gaddafi. Yeah. He's I'm really on the fence about the bad things because I think that's all portrayal stuff because he was trying to get his country off of the US dollar and back onto a gold standard with aspirations of aiding the rest of Africa and bringing them up with him. And that was 30 years ago, and ever since he's been portrayed as this evil despot, and then the U.S. has done shadow government stuff to start revolutionary forces and terrorist activity and whatnot in order to overthrow him because he's trying to get off of the U.S. dollar onto a gold standard. That the people who run the world don't like that, And that was before they had a central bank owned by the Rothschilds, so they were still their own thing, and they were an enemy of the system. And so, after all this time, now everybody has this negative, Muammar Gaddafi is this evil person. He was trying to bring Africa out of the sewer.
But we were talking about brutality.
Was he really brutal, though, or is that all stuff that our media told us?
Well,
You know?
I wasn't there. I didn't live it, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah,
the
I
way
did.
his people
I
reacted
did have a.
brutally. Usually,
how I-
that's a brutal leader.
Well,
Usually,
we're only getting told what we're not
well,
there. You
we
know.
saw how he
Yeah.
died.
Yeah, he got stabbed in the butt.
Well, I did have. Well, here, let me interject real quickly. I did have a friend who grew up in Ukraine when it was still part of the USSR, and then him and his family fled to the United States at the fall of the Soviet Union. So he told me a little bit of what he experienced, and it was chaos. Because he's from Odessa, Ukraine. And you've heard me talk about him before, but he said that if it wasn't for the fact that on one side of his family was the Ukrainian, USSR mafia, and the other side of his family was Soviet military. So him and his family were able to get out and come to New York, and then they eventually moved to Minnesota and stuff like that. But he told me how it became chaotic, and he was one of the few people that were part of the Jewish community out in Odessa. So there was some crazy shit going on out there. During that fall, people were getting killed left and right, robberies everywhere. It became chaos, and so they got into the United States and stuff.
I love
he's a cool guy.
I love stories like that are personal, and you hear about somebody that actually got out. How did they do it? That to me is just awesome.
Yeah,
I love that. Because that stuff just isn't easy to do.
Yeah.
Like that one recent
he told me
example
that
where
actually
that one female escaped
I actually have
North Korea.
Oh yeah.
And then she's seeing she's. I'm
sorry.
sorry to talk over you, Alice. There's a lag and we just can't help it. But I remember a conversation we had a while ago about a woman who escaped North Korea, and she comes out here and she's seeing the birth of what made North Korea happening in our educational system, in our culture.
Yeah.
It's coming, and she's like, oh my God, stop it.
Yeah, she had to, she got out as a young girl, maybe 16, 18 years old, with her mother and what they had to go through.
You guys are doing what...
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, I'm saying it's just crazy, because they're like, dude, you want communism here? You don't want that.
It's everybody's always all these people are like, oh, communism has never truly been tested. It's yes, it has for over 100 years. And case in point, when the wall fell, which way did everybody run?
Yeah.
Man, this lag is really annoying.
Yeah.
To the capitalism, to the republic.
Yep.
For which it stands. If people remember the Pledge of Allegiance, it doesn't say to the democracy. It says to the republic.
Yeah.
Yep.
People keep forgetting that we're not a democracy, we're a republic. We're a democratic republic, I think, is technically what we are.
All right, well, it looks like the stream is already kicked off, so we're not live anymore.
Really?
So, yeah, we're not live. We're still recording, I hope. Let's see. Yeah.
Gosh,
So-
what is going on with the interwebs?
I don't know, but I am at the edge of my rope with this.
Yeah, we're still recording. That's good.
Yeah, we're still recording.
Well, we'll call the cable company tomorrow.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Pledge of Allegiance, I remember when I was a kid, they inserted under God.
I think it has something to do with the solar flares.
No, I've been having
There's been some massive solar flares going on.
I've been having a problem with the internet for months. Every single day, it's always it disconnects itself randomly, it has a surge, and see, here's the thing. I have a theory that we're being throttled, we're being intentionally targeted, because ever since, and I spoke with Loon earlier today, about all this 5G stuff going on, for the past several years and whatnot, they installed all of those wires and whatnot in my neighborhood, and I noticed, my internet overnight took a 70% dive. It just went to crap, and it's only just been getting worse ever since. And that is the day I noticed that we had a 5G option for our internet. And I have a feeling that they're trying to throttle us to force us into the 5G. Now, I'm not one of these anti-5Gers, but I've heard a lot of more bad things than good, and I don't want to support it. I don't want to use it. But I feel like I'm being squeezed, you know? So I don't know if we are, or if there's some stupid problem, that's really simple. But we're going to try to get it resolved within the next week.
Well,
so
tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we're going to start the process tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well,
get on with the
hopefully
show.
you
Don't
guys
worry about
can.
that.
Yeah. Well, I'm
that's
just like
awesome.
I mentioned that so anybody who's watching, they're
also-
knowing that we're trying to resolve the problem.
Yeah.
So, so our products aren't like knocked off. Because I'm going to have to delete the live stream because we're no longer streaming, and I'm going to have to manually upload this to everything now. But let's get back on topic here. You also wanted to talk
King,
about.
were you trying to say something? I thought you raised your hand for a second.
Oh. Your mic is still muted.
Oh no, he's muted.
There we
You're
go.
muted, buddy.
Sorry. I was going to ask if you had a Cat 6 Ethernet cord.
I don't know what that is.
It's the highest Ethernet cord that you can get. I have recently had the
Well, we'll talk about that after the show. Let's get back on
my internet was fucked up too.
Cat 6. Yeah, Cat 6. Let me put that in.
It's something we want to ask.
Cat 6. Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, because of internet disturbances and shit going on, like I've heard that there's been from the sun, because right now the sun's in its active time. We also have El Nino going on, which is just really fun. Huh? Blah?
I don't think anybody said anything.
Oh no, I thought I said. Oh no, maybe it was a lag. Well, anyways, but like speaking of that, like I would wanted to talk about like because we were talking about NATO and everything. I wanted to talk about after the I'll go into solar flares later, but I was thinking about kicking the peanut around my head about the how I think Congress and the Senate and even the bureaucrats that are hired to work there should have term limits, because all of them they become a little more entitled, as I would say.
Boy, you get my motor.
They're caring more about their pocket
bureaucrats
book
than
the well-being of the country.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that topic?
Cut the bureaucrats in about 2/3. Just fire 2/3 of them. Because it's just, there's so many millions of people that are out there working for the bureaucracy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm being a bit facetious, but
I agree with that one completely. I don't even think we need as many. We should also cut the IRS.
Oh yeah.
All they're doing is going after the people that make no money. They're not going after the rich people who embezzle.
Or they're using it to shut people up.
But I definitely think that so senators get 6 years for their terms, right? Yeah. Well, no, but senators, is it 6 years for a term for a senator?
Yep.
And then 2 years per term for a House representative?
Right.
Now, I would say they could I think the House of Representatives should have a max of 8 terms, but it's 2 years per term. So then they can work for 12 years, and then senators can only do 2 terms.
Yeah.
Which would be 12.
Make it simple.
So
2 terms and 6 terms, 12 and 12 years each. Figure it out.
And a president can do 8, but actually, I almost would say you should allow the president to do 3 terms as well.
No.
But then again, that might be. I think I'm happy with the 2 term for president as is. And then people would say, well, maybe you should have term limits for the Supreme Court. That's where it gets sketchy for me. I'm not sure how I feel about term limits with the Supreme Court or not.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
So, that one, until you want to retire. So, that's how a normal judge would be anyway. You're just on the highest level of court. So I think that leaving the Supreme Court alone, but I don't believe in stacking the Supreme Court. Like I know that we have had done it in the past, but I'm actually happy with the level, like what you have, because you do need to have one person can swing the vote, whether one way or another.
Right, it has to be an odd number. It can't be an even number of them.
But
But can
no,
you
it can't be an
imagine?
even number. It has to be an odd.
Can you imagine? Speaking of stacking the court, if the Republicans should happen to win in 24, and then they come in and say, you know what, we want to add X amount of judges to the Supreme Court. Now they would be so conservative. Can you imagine the howl that they would just come up with? So it's not something they should do. Leave it alone.
Huh.
I don't know. We're lagging so
Supreme
bad. I don't know if
Court,
anybody picked that up or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a little laggy there, but I picked up a little bit.
I think, like, I'm sorry, but I think I just need to interject. Why don't we, like, call the show early and, like, just not do shows until we get this internet problem done? Because this is
not working right now.
This is just
really struggling.
this is maddening.
What?
So.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
but
fine.
we
Actually,
just can't do
that's
this.
fine. I have no
Close
problem
it out
doing that.
probably, though.
Well,
Sorry.
anyways, if the recording is still going, if the recording is still going, everybody, I apologize for the technical difficulties here, but this is the Kicking the Peanut show, which we do every day, every Sunday. It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern time and 3 p.m. Western time.
Yep. 4
But
p.m.
Everybody
Mountain.
be cool, stay in school, don't do drugs,
Yeah.
and I apologize for the technical difficulties and everything.
All right. Please go to the underwater description below to our link
And 5
tree. It has
p.m.
links to
Eastern,
all of our social
Central.
media accounts. I will be doing my
Yep.
best due diligence to
All right,
keep
people.
people updated on
Be
social
cool,
media.
stay in school, don't do drugs.
All right. Yeah, so until you catch us next time, which whatever next time is, hopefully we'll have this problem solved by well before next Sunday. But whenever it is, and until you see us, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs and subscribe, and keep an eye on our Twitter and Facebook groups. Those I'm going to be keeping those up to date primarily, but also Minds and Drew Social and all that stuff. Anyway, toodles!